let's talk about innovation. It's a word that everybody's using and overusing a lot these days. Every company is one of the top priority. Innovation, innovation, innovation. And you know what? It is essential today, because it's not that just people are talking about it. It's not just a buzzword. As I say in my presentation, it's a buzzsaw, right? And a buzzsaw, you don't want to be in front of it because somebody's innovative. So companies to be very successful today, they have to be what I call apex innovators. They shouldn't just say, yeah, we're innovating a little bit here and there. They have to be extremely aggressive, like apex predators, right? They have to seek areas that are outside their core competencies and they expand. I mean, again, think about Google going into self-driving cars. In 2001, I never thought I'd work for a company getting into self-driving car. And now all the companies are going into it. So a company, regardless of what business they're in, they have to think about other areas to expand, because otherwise they're going to be, the term these days is Uberized, right? Somebody else is going to sweep under them and out-innovate them. So the key to innovation is you need to be an apex innovator these days, which means if you're investing 0.1% on innovation, it's not enough. You have to invest a lot more, but it's not 20%, right? Some companies that have huge coffers, like say Apple and Amazon and Google, can afford to spend tens of billions of dollars in crazy new projects. But even small companies with prototyping, they can take 2%, 1% of their resources, and with these clever techniques, they can try hundreds of experiments per year, which, by the way, is probably what it takes before you find something that is really successful. And I believe that the role of IT and CIO is to have an infrastructure that enables that kind of experimentation and data collection to see, well, we tried these 10 ideas, these 8 are pretty bad, this is okay, but this one here is a real winner. So usually when people think about prototyping, they think about end products, right? When we talk about innovation, we think of the end product, the self-driving car, or the amazing Google search, or all these things. What people don't realize is that those innovative end products could not happen if there wasn't a lot of internal innovation. And who owns that? Usually it's the CIO, and it's the internal infrastructure. Imagine if Google search didn't run as efficiently as possible. In theory, the company could lose money every time you do a search, right? Because if you use 10 cycles of a computer instead of 1 cycle, we could potentially lose money. So IT is incredibly important because our companies run on information. So from hiring to the infrastructure, to how we manage the information, to how we integrate all these things, IT is at the center. So if you want innovation when at the consumer or the product level where people sit, you have to have internal innovation. And that's why I believe that CIOs and IT must be as innovative as possible for the company to be as innovative as possible. The role of the CIO is not just to provide this information technology, it should be an innovation agitator. They should not only enable it, make it possible to do it very efficiently, accelerate it, they should instigate it, right? And who is better than the CIO, maybe with support from the CEO and the board, to say, look, here are the tools, use them. In a company, the CIO is the person that owns most of the tools, and if the tools inspire innovation, then people will innovate. Even though innovation sounds like so much a buzzword, I mean, I'm even tired of hearing it myself. It may be overused, but the point is that it's happening and it's exploding, it's becoming exponential. Why? Because an innovation here leads to an innovation there, right? So you have maps and mobile phone, out of that comes Uber. So even though it's overused, it is essential for any company that wants to remain successful to practice what I call apex innovation. They cannot just do what companies used to do before. If your company is already one of the leaders in your field, if you want to stay there, don't get complacent. Don't innovate a little bit. Be very aggressive, and it's not going to take a lot more resources than you currently have using all the innovation practices. If you use prototyping or other lean method, you can accelerate with minimal resources and have this extraordinary result, as Google did with Gmail, started by one person.